I will start this video by quoting just about every Australian mother on the evening of Christmas Day every year, and well, that's it for another year. So let's talk about all the Digimon that debuted or were revealed this year in the year 2024, and I'm going to do what I do every year, and I'm just going to give them a bit of a ranking from S tier to F tier like I do every single year. So first of all, we do have Terramon in this list. He was technically revealed at the very end of 2023 when Digimon Liberator was first being announced, but I didn't include him in my 2023 ranking because from memory he was revealed on the last day of 2023. So I'd already recorded my 2023 Digimon review video thingy-majing, so I've included him in this list. So that means that there are 37 Digimon that were revealed or debuted this year, which is probably about twice as much as we had last year, and that is of course thanks to predominantly Digimon Liberator, which is the currently running free Digimon web novel and web comic that you can read again for free on digimoncard. Is it .com or .net? I think it's .com, but you can get to it from digimon.net anyway. In any case, let's start this for the year. So I'm pretty sure I have this in alphabetical order. So first up we have Cinderillamon, which is the mega form for Arisa's Digimon Shumon, and it is also in the card game as well as Digimon Liberator. Kind of an okay-ish design. I'm gonna put it an A on the basis that she's not, a typical sexy anime waifu design, which we have a lot of those in Digimon, and not that I have personally any problem with the waifu design Digimon. I just kind of like when we get really strong women who aren't just more or less eye candy or fan service. It's just kind of nice to see something that's other than just, the Lilithmon big boobies, which, to be fair, the only Digimon that I feel like it really does it well is Lilithmon, because she's the sin of lust, so that's kind of fine, but everyone else I'm just kind of like, just make it strong and cool rather than anime waifu. So Cinderillamon is a really great design. It's not my favorite, but I'm going to put it in A just because it's not the waifu fan service design, which a lot of the feminine looking Digimon tend to lose clothing and get sexier as they evolve. But this Digimon doesn't, kind of just sort of stays really cool looking. She does lose the puppet look that she has in the earlier forms, however, but that kind of just happens in Digimon. They do change a lot. Next we have Sonumon, who hasn't really appeared in much, debuted in the Digimon Pendulum Color, which was released this year, but kind of makes me think of like a Studio Ghibli movie, basically Princess Mononoke kind of esque, and I do like it. I'm just going to put it in B. It's not my favourite design. It's kind of silly looking as well, but it does have that sort of Ghibli-esque feel, and it feels like it's very rooted in Japanese folklore, which is pretty cool too, but I can't just put everything in S tier because I know what I'm putting in S tier, and I don't want it to be too top-heavy for the S tiers. Next we have Chaperamon, kind of a cool little puppety Red Riding Hood kind of thing. She's cool. I'm gonna put her in B tier. Almost said P tier. What are even words? But she's fine. I do like her. I like the puppet deck that Arisa has, and I do actually have the Overclock puppet deck, which is kind of started as the puppet starter deck that was released this year as well. So I do like Digimon Liberator, and I probably love all the Digimon that appear in Digimon Liberator and have so far. But yeah, she's kind of in B tier. Next we have Dimitramon, which is like really cool pink dinosaur. I'm gonna put it in B tier as well. Just kind of cool. The colors are kind of like, reminds me of when you put red and blue together and it kind of just pops out of your eyes. It's kind of a cool like little dinosaur mon, but yeah, it's gonna go in B tier. It's fine. I do like it. Next we have Dynamon, which I'm going to put on S tier for the same reason I put a lot of my Digimon in S tier over each year of doing these rankings, and that's because it's a new Digimon. But it's a Digimon that looks like it could have always been there. It could have always been around as Tyrannomon's Mega form. That's pretty cool. I am very excited for when EX8 releases in January to build this new Tyrannomon deck, which is both green and red, which are kind of like I do like green decks in general, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how that deck will run. The only bad thing is that I was kind of hoping that Rutaro's Tyrannomon had a brand new child level Digimon, but it's just using Agumon as the sort of child level Digimon for it, which I suppose is okay. He's kind of meant to be this anime protagonist, traditional Digimon main character kind of thing, and that's fine, that makes sense. He has Agumon. They did, however, miss the opportunity of giving him the birthday of June 26th. They gave him the right year for Digimon debuting, 1997, but they didn't give him the actual birthday of the franchise, which I feel like is a missed opportunity. I think his birthday is like sometime in September or something, which I feel like that's a missed opportunity to not make him exactly as old as the franchise. But in any case, next we have Elizamon. I love this design. I'm probably going to put it in S because, again, the colours are a little bit garish and kind of pop out a little bit too much. But other than the characters, if I were just looking at this in black and white, I would just, without knowing anything about Digimon, I would have assumed that this Digimon's been there for the entire time. Looks very much like the very early days of the franchise, those kind of designs. It feels very nostalgic despite also being a new Digimon. So again, that's kind of why I put things in S tier when they just kind of look like they've always been there. Same with Luxmon, who I believe was revealed last year, being the Angelmon and Angelwoman kind of child form, alternative to Patamon and Tailmon, but kind of looks like it's been there the entire time. So I like when Digimon look like they could have been around for the decades of the franchise's life rather than being brand new Digimon. Next we have some Digimon from New Century, which of course is the Chinese Digimon game that hasn't been released outside of China at the moment. So we have Erlangmon and Erlangmon Blast. They're kind of both okay. I think they're just too busy in terms of their designs, which I feel like that's something I say a lot about the New Century Digimon for the most part, is that they have too much going on and are kind of too busy in terms of their designs. I would also say that about Syndrilmon, to be honest. Like, there's a lot going on there, but she has not too much going on. Erlangmon, on the other hand, kind of has a lot of stuff going on. Next we have Fluffymon, who is Terramon's baby form, and I'm gonna put it in A. It's kind of cute. In a similar way, I'm probably going to put Yokomon, the other baby form, in... I'm going to put it in C. There's nothing like inherently wrong with it. I just prefer Fluffymon, and since it's in the card game, the baby forms are kind of combined into the one card, and it's just kind of a broken egg. It makes me kind of sad. I'm not really sure why, but it just makes me sad. But yeah, it's kind of just there. Next we have Forgemon, another one from Liberator. I'm gonna put it in C. It's just kind of an okay design. I don't really have much to talk about it. It's just kind of like just there. Yep. Nothing to say. It's just kind of there. It just kind of exists. It's not like a terrible design or anything. There's nothing inherently wrong with it. It's just kind of forgettable. Like, when I saw this, I'm like, whoa, where's this Digimon from? Like, oh, it's also Liberator. I just kind of look at it, I'm like, okay, that's a Digimon. Next, like, it's just kind of one of the rock Digimon, but this one's more robotic, but yeah. Next we have Galemon, so that's Terramon's adult form. Gonna put it in A. It's just kind of like a cool dragon bird, just looks like Terramon's evolution, because it is. Yay. Grand Galemon, got a lot going on there. Gonna put it in gonna put it in C. It's just kind of there. It's not my favorite. It's just, there's nothing inherently wrong with it. It's just kind of the most boring of Terramon's evolutions, if that makes sense. It's just kind of like, okay, you did the Digimon thing of strapping metal to the adult form and just saying, hey, okay, here's a weapon, here's some metal, there we go, off you go, off see the world. And yeah, I just, but I feel about a lot of perfect forms. Like, I like the child forms and I like the adults, but, and I like the megas, but the perfect ones just kind of seem weird. I don't know why, except for Lilymon. Lilymon is always A+, no notes. Lilymon is fantastic. I run it in my Zephargamon deck, in fact, but Grangalemon's kind of, there's not much going on. Next we have Heavy Metal Dramon, which is Impmon's new evolution. So in Digimon Liberator, they gave more Growlmon, Megidramon evolution counterparts for Impmon. So Heavy Metal Dramon being like the Impmon version of Megidramon, and his wings, yes, they are guitars. So that is really cool. Big fan. While this one does have a lot going on, which usually I am not a fan of, I feel like it's got enough going on that if it had less going on, it would be boring. And it has to be a counterpart for Megidramon, so I'm going to put it in S tier. Really like it. I also do like when Bandai and Toei give new evolutions to Digimon that have been there the entire time. So, well, not the entire time, but Impmon's been around since very early days in the franchise. 2001 and 2000 or 2002-ish, off the top of my head, around the Tamers era, because it appeared in Tamers. I can't remember if there was a card for it beforehand, but very early on, very early days in the first 5 years of the franchise, and now gets brand new evolutions with a counterpart to Guilmon's evolution line. So that is cool and fun. Very cool. Next we have something else that Digimon Liberator has done, and that is give evolutions for Espimon, Hover Espimon finally. So we have Invisimon, great Digimon, kind of like one of those robot hero franchises kind of thing, and the Liberator web novel even makes a point to point that out. So, gonna put it in A. Really like it, it's really cute. I'm glad to see Espimon finally getting a little bit of love. We only ever saw it evolve to adult previously in Digimon Ghost Game, so I'm glad that it finally got some perfect and mega forms for Digimon Liberator, which feels really good. I'm glad that they're giving some love to not old Digimon, because Espimon's still fairly new to the franchise overall, but I'm glad that we're finishing off that evolution line and not just abandoning it as a Digimon that only evolves to an adult form that's unique to it. Next we have another new Sentry one, Jogamon. And surprisingly, since I don't really like the new Sentry Digimon, I'm going to put it in A. It's just kind of a cool design. It's just kind of cool. I like the sort of moon princess, moon god kind of thing going on there. Big fan. Next we have Landramon, so we finally have a Seedramon, Airdramon, and Landramon counterpart, though it doesn't look like what I would have hoped a Landramon looked like. I would have just hoped, like, we have Sea Snake, we have Air Snake, we just kind of have a Land Snake. He's just kind of a regular snake. He's just kind of a little bit more than that. It's just kind of like a mountain out of a molehill kind of snake, I guess, I don't know. But again, like Sand Lizardmon, looks like it could have been in the franchise the entire time. Gonna put it in S because it just, it's kind of like an A S. It's in between A and S, but I'm gonna put it in S. I really do like it. It's really cute. It does look like a perfect evolution from Sand Lizardmon, so we're gonna put it in S tier. Next we have Loudmon, which again is the evolution for Megalogrowlmon, or rather the evolution for Impmon that's a counterpart to Megalogrowlmon. I'm gonna put it in A. It looks exactly like it would if you just did a... no, I'm gonna put it in B just because it's just a color swap. They did nothing more to it than just kind of like a color swap and changing some of the metal to look more like Itmon-esque, I guess. So I'm gonna put it in B, just because, again, perfect levels. They just kind of exist. And it is just too much like just a complete palette swap for Megalogrowlmon. So yep, that kind of just goes in B. Next we have Mequinamon. Despite the fact that it reminds me of Atmon, I'm going to put it in C. There's just something ever so slightly uncanny valley about it. It is just kind of, I guess that's the point, it's kind of creepy looking and just kind of but I do find it interesting that it does have a tail that does remind me of the Applicables in Atmon, especially since Atmon's coming to the card game. I'm wondering if there's any tie-in for that or if it's just a coincidence, but yeah, just kind of in C. Nothing too exciting about it. Next we have, and I'm glad I wrote down the names because I can't actually remember this one's name, Marine Bullmon. I should have remembered that one. It just kind of exists. Again, another evolution for an existing Digimon, which is Sangomon, which, despite only being in the franchise in the last few years, is another one of those Digimon that looks like it could have been there the entire time. And honestly, Marine Bullmon's also kind of like a Digimon that looks like it could have just evolved from Shellmon and has been around since the start of the franchise for as long as Shellmon has, but is new. And I like that. I like when they make Digimon, and I've said this a million times, but I'll say it a million more. I like when Bandai and Toei make Digimon that look kind of like Digimon, in the way that they just kind of look like they've been in the franchise the entire time despite being new. Big fan of that, so it goes in A. Next we have another Digimon, and again, I'm glad that I wrote this. Where are we? Who are you? Nezamon, there we are. It's another one of the New Century Digimon. Reminds me of Digimon that we already have, but I do kind of like it, but it reminds me too much of, I forgot its name. It was like a younger brother to Mervamon in Cross Wars, for memory, and also it reminds me of a cross between that Digimon I can't remember the name of, I'm a fake fan, my apologies, and the main character, like the human little imp thing from Digimon Heroes. So it just kind of looks like a Digimon that already exists and is kind of there, I guess. Again, I'm not often a fan of the Digimon from New Century, except for the one that I will always call Magpiemon, but isn't actually called Magpiemon. Zupengmon, I think its name is? Zupengmon? Something along those lines. It's a really cool magpie-looking crow friend, I don't know. It's a bird with goggles, I like it. Next we have Invisimon, again, a perfect form for Hover Espimon and Espimon. Unfortunately, kind of like, I mean, for a perfect mon, I'm probably gonna perfect mon? For a perfect form, I will always kind of say that it's B because they're just kind of weird in-betweens. But I actually do like this one. It looks perfect for what it's evolving from. And I don't know, it's just kind of creepy, but in the right kind of way. And I just like it. Like, so sue me. I don't have much to say about it, but for a perfect form, and since I have kind of been roasting and dunking on perfect forms for looking just kind of weird, I do like this one. It does fit really perfectly. Honestly, it looks like a great jump between from Hover Espimon to this one. That feels perfect. It doesn't entirely look like the Mega form, which it does eventually evolve into, but yeah, I like Invisimon. He's a cool guy and he doesn't fear anything. Wait, is it Invisimon? No, it's Oblivimon. Invisimon is the Mega form. Now I've confused myself. Oblivimon is the UFO friend that we see here. Kind of cool. Kind of there. Is a better perfect form than the other perfect forms, so that's fine. And again, looks like a great natural evolution, and while I don't think that Digimon necessarily should have linear evolution paths, they can kind of change it up as much as they can, that's kind of the point. I feel like it really does fit the evolution line. Next we have Polar Bearmon. Adorable. Love this Digimon. Also, kind of looks like it could have been in the franchise the entire time. It's going to go in S tier. It's just kind of cute. I like little snow boots. I like the happy little bear smile. It looks really, really, really cute. It's like a nice little evolution from Frigimon. It's just really cute. I don't have any complaints here, so it's an S tier. It makes me happy. Like, looking at the art just makes me happy. And it kind of looks like it could have been there the whole time. Prognomon reminds me of a bad guy in, like, the Halo Covenant, like, in Halo. And that gives me some weird kind of, like, dose of nostalgia. So I'm going to put it in B. It doesn't look like a Digimon, though. It just looks like if there was, like, a Halo comic and someone said, hey, look at this character, it's from a Halo comic, I'd be like, hey, that looks like a Covenant from a Halo comic. It just doesn't really look like a Digimon at all. Very cool, though. Not dunking on it too hard, because it is a really cool design, but it doesn't look like it's meant to be from Digimon. Again, it looks like it's from Halo. Yeah. Terramon, S tier. Love my boy. Love my bird boy. I love him so much. He's such a cute design. He is precious. He is just... Again, he looks so much like a Digimon protagonist, main character dude. And he is. He looks like a combination of all of them, but still somewhat unique and somewhat fresh. Love him. Love Terramon. Love my Terramon deck. He is adorable. Love him so much. And I run Palmon in that deck too, so I just really love that deck in general. Next we have Punkmon. Now Punkmon is... Yes, I know I roasted on Loudmon a little bit for being just a recolor, but this is a better recolor because it still looks different enough from Growlmon than Loudmon is just like a weird recolor. Punkmon has actual other stuff put on, but he doesn't look too busy with how many things have added. He looks like a really great cross between exactly what he's meant to be, which is Beelzemon, but also Growlmon. So I really love this design. Again, almost looks like it could have been around the entire time since Itmon and Growlmon first debuted, but does still look a little bit new. Maybe it's not my favourite out of all my S tiers, but it's definitely S tier worthy. Next we have Pyramidmon, who, as much as I love that they fleshed out Sand Lizardmon's evolution line and we have a more unique evolution line than just giving him Digimon that already existed, there's a lot going on. I'm trying to put it in C because there's a lot going on, but it's still kind of cool. Doesn't look like a Digimon, looks like more, and I'm not really into this franchise. I watched it as a kid, but it does remind me of something from Yu-Gi-Oh! If you showed me, like, similar with Prognomon, if you showed me a Halo comic and said this is from the Halo comic, I'd be like, yes, cool, it is. If you showed me this and said it was a Yu-Gi-Oh! Character, I would say, yep, probably looks exactly like a Yu-Gi-Oh! It's just kind of like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Card. It just reminds me of that. I don't hate the design, and I don't think I really hate any of these designs, but it just kind of doesn't really look like a Digimon, and I don't know. It's just also just kind of there. Next we have Vespamon. I'm going to put this in A because when I saw this in the list of Digimon that debuted this year, I'd be like, no it didn't. No, Vespamon's been around forever. And then I looked at it and that's been around forever. No, it's just a really great pre-evolution for an existing Digimon, which is Tiger Vespamon. This one is just kind of also, they're just kind of there. So that Digimon already has been around, but no, this isn't Vespamon, this is Queen Beemon. Vespamon is here, which also I thought was a Digimon that already exists. So Queen Beemon and just regular Vespamon, they look like they've already been around, especially Vespamon. Vespamon just looks like Tiger Vespamon, but you removed some things, which I guess makes sense. It just feels like that's how they designed it. They looked at Tiger Vespamon and just removed some features to it. Not that that's a bad thing, but I just kind of looked at both Queen Beemon and Vestmon and was like, these Digimon already exist. But I still prefer Queen Beemon to Vestamon. I do like that we're giving another Digimon, Fun Beemon, evolution lines. Even though Fun Beemon already had Waspmon and Tiger Vestmon and Cannon Beemon, this one has just kind of, I guess, a more feminine feel to it rather than Waspmon and Cannon Beemon. And that's kind of cool. I do like that. I do like how we're giving Digimon evolution lines, even ones that already had evolution lines. Because it also makes Digimon Liberator a little bit more interesting when we have, Digimon that you already kind of expect to see where they evolve, and they evolve into something that's unexpected. Again, if you haven't read Digimon Liberator at this point, I definitely recommend doing so. The webcomic is free, the web novel is free. If you are just interested in reading the webcomic, but not particularly interested in reading the web novel, as a self-plug, I've been doing the audiobook readings of the Digimon Liberator web novel on this channel that you can check out. They're also available on the podcast catchers, whatever, like Spotify or Apple Music, I think it's called now. The one with the Apple Podcasts. I don't know. There's podcast form as well as available on YouTube, so you can listen along to those, similar to how I did the Digimon Seekers web novel readings. So check those out if you haven't already. Next we have the Monster Hunter Digimon. So we have, and I'm just realizing, why isn't Shumon on this list? Shumon must have also been shown off in 2023 then. Okay, quick putting Shumon in S tier. Thumbs up. Because I'm just realizing, looking at this, that Shumon is not here. So that would make it 38 Digimon, and Shumon in S tier. Thumbs up, there we go. Anyway, so we have the Monster Hunter Digimon, which one of them is better than the other. So Roost Greymon just looks like a really bad, or not really bad, but just kind of like an average Photoshop, or one of those Digimon Fusion websites where you pick two Digimon and then you get like the amalgamation of both of them, and usually it's just one Digimon's head on another's body, and that's exactly what it looks like. It doesn't, I mean, I get it, I get the idea they're going from, I see the vision, but it's just kind of weird looking. The Sinoga Garurumon, however, is great. I think it's just looks perfect. And it looks like they actually put a little bit more effort into this design. They didn't just copy paste a head onto the body and call it a day. They did the fur. They did the scales. It looks really great. That goes in S tier. Then we have, glad I wrote the names down because I cannot remember that one. It's Rugumon. I should, because people play it with Hexblow now. Fantastic. So Rugumon, let's put it in. Wow, this is a very top-heavy year. All of these designs are great, especially with Shumon, who's just kind of sitting at the top here because I am silly and forgot that Shumon existed. Likewise, Shumon will hang out in S tier along with Shumon because the name is kind of silly. It being just, okay, it's just two shoes, shoo, but I love how it's on little quad rollerblades, roller skates rather. Very cute. Love its design. Again, very top-heavy year. I just realized I forgot to talk about Rugumon. Love the colors. I just really love that design. Next we have Skatymon. Gotta put in C. I don't know. I don't like it as much as Polar Bearmon. Again, a little bit too busy. Also doesn't really look that Digimon-y. Looks more like, again, a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but it's just kind of there. Next we have Takutomon and Takutomon Wrath. I don't like these. I like this one a little bit more though. They're just kind of, yeah, again, they're too busy. A lot of New Century designs are too busy, so E and F. Wrath is slightly better despite being a little bit more busy. They did a better job with it. Takutomon's just kind of standing there. Again, I don't know why New Century Digimon just don't really do it for me. So they're at the bottom of the list, but something had to be. Next we have Zafargamon. Gonna put this in A. Probably could be an S, but yeah, I'm just gonna put it in A. I do like it. I don't like that art of it. I feel like that art doesn't do it justice. I prefer the art that we get on the TCG cards. It just looks like it's too much wing, not enough anything else. Also, I'm just realizing it just looks too much like Omegamon at this point. But maybe that's just that specific art of Zafagamon. So there we are, minus Shumon, which I forgot because I guess it was revealed at the very, very last possible moment of 2023 and thus escaped my mind and the list. But yep, all 38 Digimon, just regular Shumon is hanging out with Shumon over there at the top. Try saying that 5 times fast. But anyway, so that's it for another year. Again, as every Australian mother probably said on Christmas Day, as the husband was asleep wearing his Christmas paper hat. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's kind of just an Australian Christmas thing. I'm not sure how international that experience is, but it's definitely an experience that a lot of Australians would be able to sympathise with, I guess. Is that the wrong word? Probably, but I'm tired. Anyway, so that's it for another year. Let me know your rankings. I'll link this and I'll correct it to have Shumon in it, and I'll put that in the description, so check that out and let me know if you agree with my takes, if you disagree with my takes, if you would say that it was a very good year for Digimon designs. I don't have many that I don't like. Even the ones that I put in C, I would say that I still do like them. They're just kind of not as meaningful as the other ones. I'm sure I'm finding some terrible uses of words today, my apologies. But anyway, that's it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, questions, etc, etc, comment section below. Like this video, for this has been a great year for Digimon, and I'm hoping that 2025 is even more so. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you have subscribed, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your enemies, and of course, I'll see you next video. Bye!